OuterOrange.
I am losing my mind over this card. Hey guys, OuterOrange here. My hair is black and short. It's like here right now. I'm here to make a quick discussion about the new dolls, Nightmare Dolls stuff because I think it's absolutely amazing. I actually been playtesting it. I do have like a in proxy kind of like not complete, we're still testing type of deck thing, and I want to go over it with you guys. Briefly, this is not a deck profile. I'm just talking about some key points about the cards and how they synergize with the current cards that are out in V Standard. Alright, I did my switcheroonie. As you can tell with the camera, you can see kind of that my hair is a lot shorter now. Actually, I don't like it in the back. It's like too short back here. But whatever. Anyway, we're not here to discuss my hair. We're here to discuss this. So I'm gonna release all the grade 3s here and kind of just talk about them. So here is our main grade 3, which is Chelsea. We have our Alice, and then we have Carol. But anyway, so as you can see, these are like the main grade 3s now that I'm seeing that you can do a Nightmare Doll in V Standard. And Chelsea's skill, let's talk about it real quick. It says Vanguard. At the end of battle, it attacked, counterblast, call up to 2 workoids from soul to rear. If your opponent's grade 3 or greater, those units get 10k. And then auto on rear guard. At the end of the battle, it attacked. If your Vanguard is a workoid cost, put this unit into soul. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it into soul, pretty much. So what's really nice about this card is that it synergizes so well with this. Like, so you'll notice that I only have 3 Alices over here. I'm kind of experimenting. Alice is not your main focus to put into your soul anymore. It is now her because she is literally free. This card is free. Well, almost free. This card as a rear guard is free. There is the cost is to put the unit into soul. There is no counterblast, nothing. So this card is free on on Carol's turn. The reason why, so Carol's whole mechanic right now is that when you put a workoid that's a grade 3 into soul, Carol herself restands. However, Carol's restand costs 1 counterblast. So if you were to put Alice in, which can also put herself in with a counterblast, you have to shove 2 counterblasts in to activate this. But now you only need 1 counterblast to shove her in and restand. Now, why is this amazing? Well, the best part about this is if you shove this in, Carol restands with another workoid, right? It has to be a different unit that isn't the current Vanguard. It could be herself if there's another one in soul, but it can't be the same one that's currently Vanguard. What's nice about this is that her Vanguard skill enables multi-attack. So before, if you want to restand and you shove Alice into soul, you would then have to ride Alice on top, and her skill is good on place. But the next turn after, if you have nothing to ride on top, she becomes a dead card. However, this girl over here, not a dead card because her Vanguard skill literally says at the end of the battle, you counterblast, call two units out from soul and they get 10k if you guys are both on grade 3. It literally enables 2 potential attacks, which is so much better. On top of the fact that this marker spams like crazy now. So it already marker spams pretty well. Now it marker spams even more because you can restand even faster. Like before, the condition of these 2 was just so much harder to make, but the condition of these 2 is just so much faster. It is so much better and faster and unique, and it's just really pushes. On top of the fact, this card also puts one of your units rear guards into soul. It's a really weird skill, as we have been seeing this skill a little bit in other parts, like other cards do this. We have some random grade 3s that do it, and all this stuff, but and that grade 2 promo card does it as well, but it's a really hard condition to meet. But this is just like, yeah, you do some stuff. Yeah, while you're doing stuff, retire one of your opponent's rear guards, put that thing in soul. I mean, honestly, it's usually a plus in a case because, you know, we use soul blasting as part of our cost conditions, so usually you're kind of helping an opponent out. However, because typically when you restand and do this much pressure, chances are your opponent will be losing anyway, and getting rid of those grade 2 intercepts, stuff like that, will only increase your chances of just succeeding, and also makes your baby attacks just more lethal as they have to guard from hand instead of guarding with an intercept. So it's not bad. And you can keep spamming this, by the way, because there's no counterblast. As long as she has counterblast, as long as you have counterblast for her, and you have like 3 of these on the board, you can just keep like, yep, here goes another one. Yep, here goes another one. Of course, you have to have Carol and Soul to keep looping specifically Carol's skill, but you can just keep shoving these in. Like, it's just crazy how free it is. You have 3 counterblasts, 3 of these, and you have Carol in your soul. You can do this 3 times with 3 counterblasts. Like, that's actually insane. Let's talk about the grade 3s. Let's go ahead and discuss the grade 2s real quick, since we do have the new grade 2 as well. And also a really great card. This card reminds me of the Harry Searcher that we have, the grade 2 Harry Searcher in there. So this is the grade 2. I also run some of these with the grade 2. Some of these and a little bit of this. This is kind of like the one card that might be taken out. I haven't decided yet, but so this is Nightmare Doll Marissa, and Marissa has a skill that says when placed from hand, it's a Vanguard or Rearguard, by the way. Cost, put a card from your hand into soul. Look at top 7 at top of your deck. Reveal up to 2. Reveal and put into your hand up to 2 non-grade 2 workloads. So you can reveal a grade 3 and a grade 1, which is really good, by the way, so because it searches for your amazing and really strong grade 3s, but it also searches for your grade 1s, and there may be some like grade 1s that we can run that will actually stabilize this really well. It's literally, you put 1 card from hand to soul. Let me emphasize this. You put 1 card from hand. So let me emphasize this. You put 1 card from hand into soul. I wonder what card you could possibly want to put into your soul. I cannot think of what possible card you would want to put into your soul. And then you literally look at top 2 and put 2 in your hand. I wonder what top 2 you would want to look for in your hand. This card literally screams, please start a Carol loop. Please start a Carol loop. It's literally pushing for you to have a Carol loop going on your grade 3 turn on your first ride. Like, it's actually insane. So this is pretty much primarily what this card does. It searches for, you put something from your hand to soul, look at top 7 for a grade 3 and a grade 1, stick that into your hand, and you have, it's a really nice plusing. Like, you're minusing a card, but you're really not, because typically whatever you put into your soul you're gonna need, and then you plus by getting potentially 2 more cards. It's really super nice. I really like it. The grade 2 is solid, but wait, there's more. So we have our new grade 1. Definitely want to run like 4 copies of her. I don't see why you wouldn't. So let me show you guys my grade 1s here, just so you guys get the kind of the synergy of the whole deck that I have so far. So the main grade 1, really awesome card, by the way, but she says Vanguard, when placed you soul charge. Cool. We're not going to say no to free soul charge. Rearguard, at the end of the turn, cost, retire this unit. Return 1 grade 3 workload from your soul to hand. If your Vanguard is a workload, you counter charge 1. Wow. This is Nightmare Doll Abigail, by the way. I didn't give her name out, but holy bonkers. So as you guys know, in Lukier decks, back when Lukier was really, really strong, part of the reason why it was really strong was because you had this really solid way of cycling through your soul, and then literally you have ways of getting your grade 3 target back in your hand, specifically Lukier herself. Now we can do this exact same thing in a Nightmare Doll deck. It is amazing. So what you do, you have 2 Carols in soul, right? Because this is what you're trying to go for, is having 2 Carols in soul. You use that grade 2 to get 2 Carols in soul, you ride to get 2 Carols in soul, whatever you need to do. This is beautiful, because before, there used to be this thing, say you ride into Alice instead and you get stuck on Alice, well, you can take the Carol out, next turn ride the Carol on top, and you can just go looping again. There's literally nothing stopping you from looping unless you just completely miss everything. This grade 1 is what makes this deck tick so well now, because you countercharge, which is like the biggest holy crap, by the way. You countercharge, you take your Carol back from soul to your hand. Next turn you're riding Carol again and you're doing it again. You no longer have that issue of thinking like, oh man, am I gonna have a dead turn? Am I just gonna have a bad time here? That doesn't exist anymore, because this card exists, because the grade 2 exists. Like, honestly, Chelsea is just the beginning of it all. Like, Chelsea is kind of like the cherry on top, I would say, and then like all the stuff below it is like what really makes it good. Because Chelsea, honestly, if we were to take Chelsea out completely, you can actually, you with just the grade 1 and the grade 2, you would still have a really good game plan, but it's a little bit more CB. But if that was the case, then you can just run more, because that's what I used to do, is I used to just run more of Armorith, and Armorith kind of helps you with that whole like counterblast issue. Chelsea is like good, but the grade 1 and the grade 2 really fixes the issues that the deck had before. Because the biggest, I talked about this, I made a whole video about Nightmare Doll, Carol, and Standard, and all this stuff. And my biggest issues was like, you have no way to like re-ride, as if you brick pretty brutally. And then like it's really hard to get a Carol into soul to start the loop. Like, the hardest thing is getting the loop started. hard. Like you can if you top 5 with Carol, but you're literally relying on a top 5 to get a Carol in to put into soul to start stuff, or you have to rely on like calling it out and having Armorith, having strictly Armorith to get that stuff in. And it's really not that it's hard, not that it's difficult, but you don't meet that condition as consistently as you do now. The grade 1 and the grade 2, Gabrielle and Marissa over here, are really carrying this right now. Like they are the main carries. Chelsea is just another added like little shimmer of like, yeah, now you can just have an even better Vanguard attack because it just enables more attacks. But honestly, Alice enables more attacks. Carol gets stuff into soul and can also enable more attacks by putting grade 3s out. Honestly, the enabling more attacks was already present in the deck. The whole concept of putting a grade 3 like herself into soul has already been present as well. So Chelsea is just like a nice little addition of happiness, but the grade 1 and the grade 2 is exactly what we needed. We needed this and they gave it to us. Thank goodness. There's a promo that they released, a workload promo specifically. You honestly can play the deck without it. I don't think the promo is necessary to build a deck, as there are just other things that you can do now. That promo is not a main focus anymore. I was really worried that without that promo this deck would fall apart, but honestly the grade 1 and grade 2 just carry it so well that you just don't even need to worry about it. By the way, we'll briefly talk about some side stuff here. I've been putting her in because you can soul charge and gives an extra 5k, makes her 13k when she attacks or boosts. Beverly gives you extra access to make your Vanguard stronger. If you put her behind Vanguard and you keep restanding your Vanguard, that Vanguard will get an extra 5k every single time. So she's really good to have in the back row. Also, by calling her out with Chelsea, she gets you can create a column potentially, get an extra 5k. Say your opponent has defenses. If you put like a grade 2 and put her behind it and then they get the 5k, you have a chance of still swinging or still being able to do stuff even though your opponent went into defense. And then you want to just, I'm still deciding on this. This is mainly just here just to get grade 3s even faster, as your grade 3s will kind of run the deck, but the grade 2s and the grade 1s do big work. You want to make sure you get to Carol. Once you get to Carol, everything else kind of falls very well into the cookie. And the cookie crumbles well after that pretty much. But that's all. I just want to briefly talk about pretty much my take on the deck. I'm obviously playtesting it right now as we speak. I do want to bring this over to premium. I have a premium deck actually. Somebody asked me about if I'm going to be doing a premium deck. I have one. It's right here. The thing is that I feel like the skill gap in premium, especially in a deck like this, is just like really high. So I'm taking the time to try and understand the deck. I really want to make sure I'm creating something that's actually worth someone's time. I may release like a beginner like Nightmare Doll type of deck that you can approach. I'm not fully sure yet how I want to like go about it, because like I'm still trying to figure out how the deck ticks and how the deck works, and I feel like there's still a lot I don't know, and then probably because like there's some interactions where I feel like they're not possible but they actually are, and I just keep overthinking some actions. So just letting you know, I do have a deck. I have been playtesting it. It's over on my Twitter. I've been releasing some. Like, I just think this is so cool. I can't wait to mess around with this. Also, right now I'm running like a ton of runs, but I might change that out over time. I don't know yet, because crits sound really good on Chelsea. It doesn't sound so good on Carol, but it sounds good on Chelsea. But anyway, that's really all I have. I really wanted to make this video before things get hectic. I wanted to get this out. I'm in the middle of like Bermuda Triangle profiles right now, and I wanted to talk to you guys about this before I go back to my Bermuda Triangle profiles. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for those who have been following me and supporting me. My subscribers have just been going up and up, which is awesome. I'm really thankful that you guys have been joining in on all the fun. I keep providing. I'm gonna try and keep providing as much as I can for you guys at as a quick pace as possible. There's just so much stuff to talk about that's hard to like narrow it all down to like one thing at a time. But I'm trying my best to do all that stuff. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Peace out. That's been on your bio. See you guys in a future video. Thank you. Bye.